for a while is because I've been doing important things that will help me improve my life, and like applying for POCO, which according to how many, it is actually because I want it to be professional. My YouTube channel is going to be just like a small part of the bigger picture, and I didn't realize it, and it wasn't a thing that I realized while I was under the brand of like Ratty Python, or back in the good old days of Diamond Creeper. It was a thing that I wanted to do fairly recently that would make my dream become a reality. I want to become a film director. I also want to become a music producer. I'm already an artist. I just want to be able to make more progress into actually doing it. And you can probably hear in my voice that I'm very out of touch. Wait. Come on. Stop. Could you please? Anyways, while the game's lagging, I'm just gonna keep talking, and one thing that I was working on is a book, because I also want to be a writer as well. One could say I'm talented in many things, but I just don't want to go by the thing of the idea of talented. It's just I just like to do things that I just like doing a lot, you know, just putting a lot of work into things that I like to do. Like entertainment is like a core part of like human culture, you know. Like and that's what I want to do. I want like what is going on? Automatic resume. And Python Entertainment Studios is just for entertainment. It's not because if it does fail, I'd still want to be able to like entertain it. I'm just going to crouch here and just. Alright. And one thing that I do like is just I don't know, and I feel like I just got on. I got off topic, and I want to be I had to get a job in order to like make this happen. When I was 15 last year, I was looking for a job while I was still 15, so I can start working at it when I turned 16. But then I had to go on a vacation, and what is it? Damn it. And I had to postpone that, and I also had to proceed on working on PSEO, getting into it at least, and that ended up getting pushed off to the sideline until school ended. And then I just recently applied, and they contacted me saying that I might be able to get in. And ever since then, I've just been screwing around, doing whatever I want. And so I was and I started just slowly becoming more professional. I feel like I made more social media pages. I finished my website that I've been just working day and night on, and I am super proud of myself. And I've been getting back into drawing. I've been getting back into writing. I've been getting back into making music. I've got a children's series that I'm going to be working on with my uncle, and because he wants to get in on it as well. Gotta get physical. I'm dead. I am dead. I am 100% dead. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. I am getting off track. This is something that I might get from my auntie, is that if I start talking about something and I don't have like a subject matter, then I forget the topic, and I try to get out of that habit, because then I'll have the memory of a goldfish by the end of like 18. And so what was I talking about? Crap. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. Oh yeah, I was talking about why I was gone. Yeah. I am a busy guy, and I have to postpone things. Another thing is habit, and like having things that my priorities, I guess. I don't think of YouTube as a priority. I think of it as a hobby, or just something I can do sometimes. When I first started YouTube, I made about 300 videos in about a year, because I was very inspired by a pretty small YouTuber. I don't know if you know him. His name is Jacksepticeye. And his constant working. He made a video he made almost 3 videos a day, and he kept this going for years. Now coming up to 3,600 videos a day. Well, non-stop, I guess. That was horrible. Okay. Oh, come on. Alright. And that was when I was like 11, I guess. I was 12. I might have. When did I make it? When did I make my my channel? I think it was like when I was 12 years old. Yeah, I was 12 years old when I made my YouTube channel, and that's what really inspired me. So I just made 3 videos a day, 2 videos a day, and it took. I thought I was doing a lot, and I thought I was never gonna stop making videos, and it was just, and what I didn't realize was I was just wiping myself out. Like, it took me about an hour to make 3 videos that are 10 minutes long. And it was just, and I didn't realize how much I was pushing myself until I was about 14, and I started dialing back. I was like, okay, I'm gonna dial it back, but I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna make like a video a day, and not too long in that I did pretty good, a video a day for about half a month. Half a month I was pushing a video a day, and I mean half a year, and then I was just completely just wiped out. And then I realized that I just didn't care anymore. I didn't care about making videos. I was like, okay, every other day, I guess. And then only a month later, I just said a video a week, and a few weeks, like by year's end, I just stopped. I just stopped making videos and altogether, and I just and it was partly because my computer was garbage and I was just sick of using it, so much so where I was just contemplating on if I should just smash my computer in just pure unbridled rage. And the thought of just not caring just kept circling in my head. Just, should I care or shouldn't I care? Because I just didn't have anything to motivate me. I didn't have anything to care about or to do. Like, what do I do? I was like 13. I was like 14 at the time, and I didn't know what would motivate me. And about in the middle of like when I was in like my sophomore, I was a freshman when I realized this. I always thought that all the artsy stuff and creativity stuff was reserved for my little sister. Like, she liked to draw and make music and act and stuff, and I was just like, I like making video game videos and just hanging out. And I didn't really have anything. I had nothing to like motivate me. I was all like, I'm creative. I can build Legos, but that's not a career. That's just like a hobby. I like Nerf guns. And something else was like, I have a very active imagination, and that was one of the reasons why I started picking up writing. When I was 14, I realized I have a very crazy imagination, and I just wanted to write. I wanted to write stories, and it wasn't when I was 14, but it was when I was on the tail end of 13. I started writing my first books, and they were just small stories, like a few pages long, not even. That one of my first books was like Star Wars, a Star Wars fan fiction, and it wasn't like it's not like that. It's not like that. It's not what you're thinking. It was like it was like a 3-page story about how I would have liked episode 7 to have been like. And this was like before episode 7 even came out. And and I finished the book around the tail end of 13, and I thought it was awesome, and I even made like I even edited like covers to the book, and I printed out like dozens of copies on my dad's printer, and I gave them to I was planning on giving them to everyone in my family when Christmas came around as like a gift, and my dad used it as fuel for fires. And I reread it, and I go crying a little, you know. And when I read it back, I recently read it back, and I realized that story was literal garbage. Oh, come on, stop it. And I don't know why and I feel like I'm the reason why I teared up is because it was the first book I ever written, and I was like, do you know what? This time, no more fooling around. This time, I'm gonna make an original story, and that's when my mind started racing. I started thinking of like superhero ideas, and eventually, I wrote 3 books. I called it the Hackest Trilogy, and I was very like obsessed with Watch Dogs when I found out about it.
Did you just leave a container of blueberries on the counter?
No. Why would I do that?
I don't know. Why would you?
I don't know. Why would I?
Then why'd you do it?
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. You don't know what that means, do you?
No, or I wouldn't still be standing here, would I?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I may or may not.
Why did you put them on the counter?
I'm telling you, I can neither confirm.
Why did you put them on the counter? You obviously did it. There's only 3 people in the house. And you're the only one I've seen eating blueberries.
Yeah, well, 'tis life.
Why did you put it on the counter?
I'll take care of it.
Why did you put it on the counter?
Because counter.
Because why?
Because the counter was there and I put it there.
There was also a refrigerator. There was also a trash can.
Oh.
Now, there was no trash bag in the trash can, but, you know, someone could put a trash bag in the trash can.
Yeah.
I will be the one to put the trash bag in the trash can because it's always me.
Okay.
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 Don't leave it out again, okay?
Okay.
Just don't.
Okay.
You're 16 now, Caleb.
I am.
You're definitely responsible enough. You're definitely mature enough. You definitely know better.
So
Just don't do it.
Alright. So, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. What is it? I wrote this. I was obsessed with Watch Dogs, and you guys might not know this, but I thought it was a good story. Other people are like, "Oh, it's horrible. Oh, it sucks." I thought it was a good story back then. I quickly realized that it's garbage. It was horrible. It was disgusting. I don't know. I was behind a car. How could you? Anyways, I was inspired by The Dark Knight and Watch Dogs, and I just took those 2 concepts, put them in a blender, and shot it out into space and blew it up, and I got that. And Was it good? No, it was garbage. It was terrible. I hated when I reread it. I was bored to death. Sorry. Anywho, I decided I'm going to rewrite it and make it better. And I rewrote it, and it was horrible. It was terrible. Just awful garbage. It was horrible. And I'm not saying it in a cynical way where I think whatever I make is horrible. No. It was awful. I was like, do you know what? Fine, whatever. I'm just gonna make a second one, because whenever there's like a 3, the 2 has to be the best. Whenever there's 3, the 2 has to be the best. And that's what I carried with me. So I wrote the second book, and laying the foundation for a series is very important. And that's what the first book is supposed to be, is the foundation. And it had no foundation. It was horrible. The second book was better, but it's like comparing garbage to poo-covered garbage. That's the kind of crap we're dealing with here, and it was just so bad. It's like a ripoff of The Dark Knight with elements of Watch Dogs, and it was just what did I do? And yeah, that's what happened. That's the story. That's the thing that happened. And I tried to make a third book. I really did, but the material that I was working with just was like, it just didn't allow it. It did not allow it. So I decided I'm going to make a new Star Wars storybook. And what I decided... Crap. My father's home, so he's probably going to barge in. So I'm going to have to end the stream soon because I'm going to have to do stuffs. Geronimo. Dang it. I thought I could do the backwards thing. So what I did was I decided to rewrite I decided to rewrite the story of Star Wars of the Star Wars story I tried to make, and it was better. It wasn't good by any stretch of the imagination, but it was better. Then I tried to make a second one. This time it was going to be a continuation of the first one. And it was incomplete, and I didn't finish it, and it was probably one of the worst stories I've ever written, but it was fine. Everything was fine. I'm fine. And I just decided to give up on those 2 series entirely, and I still have them in my documents to this day, just as a reminder of where I came from, because writing styles change as time goes on. You can't become like you can't be the Stephen King on your first book. You're never going to be that good as a writer on your first book. That's just setting your hopes too high. You're not gonna you're not gonna write a good story on your first try. That's not how life works. But if you continue trying, you're going to get better. And that's kind of a cliche to say, but it's true. There's nothing else I can say. It involves writing. It involves movie making. It involves a whole lot. Like art always, any type of art, music, writing, filmmaking, drawing. It all comes down to just continue what you want to do. What you're going for you'll eventually reach, but it's always going to take time. I missed every single shot. Okay. And where am I getting with this? Oh yes. I decided to write a new story called Judgment and the Dark World, which I decided to rename to Judgment the Dark World. And I have this huge... I see this one as what is going to be what propels me forward. Having faith in your projects is also a good thing. Knowing that a story is going to be bad isn't going to increase your skill. It's just going to be setting your expectations for failure. You can't just set your expectations for failure, but you can't set them too high. Setting your expectations to unreasonable amounts is horrible, but hoping that it's going to be good will always make you think, how can I improve? Like, that's what story writing is figuring out ways you can improve your storytelling. And that's what I had to do with Judgment and the Dark World. Those few times that I've written before, I gave up, like on the third draft. No, not even on the third draft. The second draft, I just gave up, and it was just not healthy to just give up on things on something that you want to do. Oh, that was a bad guy. Okay, and something that people should practice is just write because you want to. Like, your mind thinks of things all the time. Your mind comes up with ideas and thoughts and stories all the time. Especially when one is bored, that's when you begin to imagine and create more. Oh, crap. This is probably the most rambly stream I've ever done, but that's because I'm playing a video game while I'm talking. But I'm trying to make some modicum of sense while trying to speak. I was like, so I'm just gonna talk about like how I'm writing Judgment. It's still not done. I have yet to finish the book, and I've been working on this for about a year now. I've been working on it for a year. I thought I completed like 3 chapters when I first started. Oh, that's where he's shooting. But the thing was, I rushed it. Rushing your story will not make it better. Because although your ideas may go away, you never truly forget ideas and stories in your mind. You can still like conjure them up somehow. And it's important to understand that, because you don't want to write all your thoughts down just at a whim, just like it in one go, because that's going to hinder the quality. The quantity of words you write is not equivalent to the quality. There are some writers that can give the same essence of a grand, that can give essence of a grand world with only a few words. Like, you can get a story to be as good as Lord of the Rings without having to write a full a chronicle of hundreds of pages just of words. That's probably the worst way I could have explained it, but you don't have to like think that you can do it in one sitting. You have to like take breaks in between, because you can like, that was a bug. And a thing that I rigs. Okay. All right. What is it? Like when I was getting into chapter 4, I went back into chapter 1 and I started rereading it, and I reread it again and again and again and again, and then I started realizing the issue. It's just rushed. I rushed to the inevitable surprise, and yes. To the inevitable betrayal at the end. I need more like I need to like stall it out. And the idea of Purga being the villain will be obvious. No, please don't hurt me. No, please don't hurt me. Okay. Dang it. What is it? Crap. No. Think, Caleb, think. Yes. Okay, this is stupid. Jump. Oh, that was not solid. Okay. Alright, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So, I read through the second chapter. I read it through, and it was as long as the first chapter, which was like a page and a half long. And I realized I need to draw out my stories more. Like, I can't just get to the point after I established what might happen. Like, it was just too short. I wasn't given time to establish characters or create like any urgency to the story, and that's what inevitably made me have to think of maybe I need to rewrite the entire story. And so that's what I did. I began writing like short paragraphs of how I wanted it to begin, and I showed them to like everybody, getting their opinions on it. And like I wrote two different intros to the book, and everyone voted on the second one, and that's what I went on with. And I'm not going to give like any spoilers to the book or anything in this stream, because I want you guys to see it for yourself, and I want to make sure that I can do as much justice to this book as possible. I want to make sure it is as polished and like professionally made as possible. Stop that. So I'm barely done with chapter 2. I thought I was going to be done with chapter 2 on the on the 30th of June, and clearly that didn't happen because it's the 2nd of July, and that kind of crushed everything, and that was because I had a lot of stuff to get caught up on, like applying for PSEO and applying for like jobs in my area, and that kind of like hindered things. But I can say that I did say that I would get it done by the 4th of July because holiday and crap, and the 4th of July the story, and it was just because it's a holiday. I want to get it done around then. Ooh, that's a bad guy. No. Oh gosh, that's a bad guy. Oh yeah, and I finished chapter 1, and I use this website, and it is notorious for having very interesting novels, if you could say that. Even calling those novels is a little giving the word novel a bad rap, because they can hardly be called novels. They're not novels in any possible way. They are fan fictions, and the thing is, I'm writing my story on this website, and it's gonna be like drowned out because the only reason I'm doing it is because it's the only thing I could find that publishes books for free, and that's kind of bad because that means everyone else has found it. Oh, that was stupid. And everyone else wants to post their wonderful, wonderful, wonderful fan fictions on this free website, and people kind of steer away from it because they don't want to be seen on this website that is notorious for fan fictions. So I'm posting, and you might be asking, why aren't you saying it? Because everyone's going to click off of this screen once I say it. I am publishing my book on... I'm an idiot. I knew it. And you guys, those who don't know what Wattpad is a website where you can publish your own stories for free. And the reason why I'm using it is because it's actually a very good website. It is a very good website to post things on, and it's a very good website to post things on. It's in the vein of like YouTube in the way it works, but instead of it being videos, it is books, and you're able to do a thing called a work, and you can publish each chapter individually. Yes, Eli?
What if I got a card, I cut it and turn it into a Pokemon One Punch Man?
Pokemon One Punch Man?
Yeah.
What?
That'd be funny.
Yes, I have no clue what you're talking about.
That would be the strongest Pokemon in my deck.
One Punch Man?
Yeah.
I mean, he can kill anything in one punch. Well, defeat anything in one punch. Because that's literally his name. His name is One Punch. One Punch. You can't just diss the name. And me and my brother are getting into the good old One Punch. And you may be asking, what is his age? Because he sounded young. And he's 8, 9, I can't remember. Kind of depressing if you think about it! Ignore that. And, where was I going? What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna say things about things. And excuse me. Anywho, I am working to. I published chapter 1 on my what is it called, on Wattpad, and that's something I find very neat about the site, is that you can publish a chapter, but you don't have to publish the entire book. So you can set dates to which chapter is going to be published, and you can, and it's very neat. It's very neat. If anyone wants to be a writer, it's a very good start if you want to get noticed. Dang it. And how long is this stream going on for? I bet it's not even like an hour. Oh, it's 45 minutes. It's a 45-minute long stream, ladies and gents. I'm not totally incompetent when it comes to making YouTube things, even though like people interrupt me literally all the time. But whatever. Okay. I forgot what I was talking about. No. Oh, dang it. Yeah, chapter 2 is going to be posted on July 4th, hopefully. And if I lie, well, stop. I would never lie to my fans. I would never lie about anything. I'm a humble snowflake. And why is my thing shaking? Uh-oh. I missed so many of those shots. There's not much to talk about when it comes to like writing anymore. The reason why I'm all filming is because people don't buy paper books as much anymore, because ebooks exist, and the ebooks are truly in the superior light. No, don't hurt me. I'm your boy. Father, pay for me. Give me strength. Oh, wait. No. Good for you. And how was it? Alright. Now, well, yeah, writing also comes with another power, another incredible knowledge, and it is geology, like politics and stuff. I'm not gonna get into it's not those kind of politics. Like, I also have this interest in history. Like, I know stuff like, I know everything it comes, when it comes down to it, I know every single country on the planet. Every single country on the planet I know, because I study it way too much. And that could be viewed as a good thing or bad thing, because I know every country in Africa, Europe, Asia, and South Africa, and Antarctica. No, because there's only one country in Antarctica, and it's the Penguin. There's only one country in Antarctica, and it's the Penguin Empire. It's the Pengu Empire. They will soon rise up and take over and reclaim their lost lands of Atlanta, Georgia. No, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me, please. Oh my gosh. How did I do that? Oh my gosh. I murdered all of them. They just walked up in a straight line and were like, hey, you guys want some free kills? And I was like, yeah, I'll take some free kills. Yeah, and with like knowing a lot about history, like I know stuff that most people wouldn't know about, like that one time where the entire country of Africa went into its own world war, technically, because it was just about Africa. No one really knows that, but it's the second deadliest conflict in all of world history, only behind World War II. You might be asking, then why did we never hear about this? Well, it's because Africa, people don't really see Africa for its history, only because of its increasing or decreasing poverty, which is decreasing poverty, by the way. Poverty is decreasing in Africa because population is increasing. And Western culture doesn't really care about stuff like that. They're like, oh, there's like starving African children. Well, yeah, but I am a starving American. That was stupid. That was so stupid. One thing that comes to mind when I do history is alternate history. Alternate history is a very neat concept. It's where you take an event and you change it. Like, what if Germany won World War II? Or what if Germany won World War I? Those are probably the most common alternate histories, because alternate history, like historians are like, oh, Hitler would have never been able to take over all of Europe because the Soviets are powerful. All hail Vladimir Putin. I fall on the spectrum. Hitler could have won World War II. People are going to probably call me a Nazi for this, but you know what? No. I truly believe that if he wasn't an idiot, he could have. Because I made a lot of like alternate history stories. Because alternate history writing is also, it's like fan fiction, but for history. It doesn't have those other. It's pretty much the cleanest form of fan fiction anyone could get, besides the politics that could be involved. Like my most recent one is like, what if the United States got into a second U.S. Civil War? I write a lot of alternate history because alternate history allows you to understand countries and what they're in and like their political states and what their political states used to be. It also makes you understand the geography of certain places. Like I didn't know this until now, but Iran is not a desert. I always thought of like the Middle East as a desert wasteland that only has like terrorists and crap. But that's not true. Except for Iraq. Because Iraq is just a desert. As well as Kuwait and a lot of other countries. Most people won't understand what I'm talking about, especially if you are ignorant to any form of... I am not going to hit that guy. And I'm not going to go on like anything. go on like a rant about these things or anything unless you want me to. I mean, I could make like a full-on like hour-long video about I've actually written like a full-on like different universe that entails like that starts with like the U.S. going into a second civil war and all the like how the world would change after all the after that. And it's very, and I spent like and I spent like hours and hours on this like concept, and it's turned into like my own thing. It's like a full-on, it's a story in itself, essentially. And no. And what rank am I? I actually don't. Oh, I'm rank 26. Wow, that's pretty neat. I've been playing this game for quite a while, actually, and that's because Minecraft is broken and it's being stupid and it won't let me play. Oh my gosh, I actually survived. And oh yeah, alternate history, right. If anyone is like interested in like history and crap and want to be like I genuinely want to, if like filmmaking doesn't work out or any of my dreams don't work out, I will take a history teacher as like, I'll settle for this, because I feel like I'd actually enjoy like being a history teacher or a history professor, because frankly I know a metric crap ton about history. I know a lot about like African history, especially in these later years, because I've been doing this by I've been, if you ever want to like learn more about history, I'd start by learning each continent and learning about the history of each continent. Like when I first started off, like I want to learn more about like history. I was like, I'm gonna start off in the continent that everyone loves, Europe, because everyone remembers European history. And then I decided to do North American history, like Mexican history, Caribbean history, and even though some people say the Caribbean is not part of North America, I'd like you to fight me. I'd like you to fight me if you think the Caribbean is not part of North America, because by golly, I will complain. So stupid. I've then started on North American history and all of that jazz and fancy shenanigans, and I'm about to die. And what I ended up doing was I finished that, and I did because North American history is kind of like stupid, except for like Aztecs and the Olmecs, I guess. Like those guys are pretty interesting. I mean, no one really knows about that stuff because it's like no one cares about the old Native American empires that used to like roam the lands, because they were actual empires when Christopher Columbus was like going in and trying to murder people. Like he didn't know this, but the Native Americans weren't just like bamboo, like people just like baboons, like living amongst the animals trying to preserve the lands. No. Like they were actual like nation states, North America before Europe decided to screw everything up. And before Europe tried to screw everything up, and that was one of those empires was the Aztec Empire and the Mali Empire. No, not the Mali Empire. That's in Africa. The Mayan Empire, because those two were like the biggest. Those two were like the, oh my gosh, it's Great Britain, or oh my gosh, it's the United States. Like those guys were like the top dogs. Like they like to, and they had like this huge rivalry with each other, and they were about to throw down until Christopher Columbus came along and messed everything up. And you guys can probably tell I do not like Christopher Columbus. And one thing and then I started working on like Asian history, because people don't really know how big Asia is, because whenever people think of Asian, they think of Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, and a little bit of like Siberian. If you get like a really smart guy, he'll be like, oh, you know, the Siberians, and you'll be like, good job, you're not completely ignorant. And so but people don't really understand, like, Asia is huge. Like most people just think of Asia in just that part, and that's mostly what Asia is, because little did you know, like China makes up a billion parts of, like, it's a lot. There's a lot of like Chinese people. No, don't hurt me. Okay. No, don't hurt me. No, don't hurt me. And what was I saying? Oh yeah. No! Okay, trying to but there's also like the Middle Easterns, because the Middle East is part of Africa, which I like to like split certain like areas of Asia up into subcontinents. Like there is an actual like Indian subcontinent, because that's where that's what the British did. And there's also that's the only subcontinent that I know about. The Indian subcontinent, which consists of most of Pakistan, Nepal, parts of China, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and of course India. Blah, blah, blah. But there's like other parts of the world, like there's there's Indochina, which is like China but not quite. It consists of Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam, as well as Malaysia, which I thought was a disease, but that was not Malaysia. That was malaria. Malaria is a disease. Malaysia is a country. I was like, Malaysia is a disease, but nope, it's an actual country. Excuse me. So I was pretty ignorant there, but then I realized that's not true. And then I was like, you know what? That entire area, that should be a subcontinent on its own, because it's pretty big. It's a pretty big part of the world, and it's like just like right there, and it's like, how about just cut it off and just like say, boom, that's your own continent. I mean, no one really cares about continents anymore, because it was like, continents are huge bodies of water that are big islands that, like, does anyone know what a continent is? Because it's like, it's a big body of water that, it's large land masses that are, like, split by big bodies of water. And then people are like, oh, then does that mean Greenland is, like, a continent? But then they were like, no, Greenland is an island, and it's now the biggest island in the... And I was like, then what is a continent? If it's like big bodies of water, then is Europe and Asia just one continent? Is Europe, Africa, and Asia one continent? Is North and South America just one continent? Is Greenland part of North America, or is it like their own continent? It's so confusing. It is like stupid confusing. But then I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna draw lines on the map and I'm gonna say these are continents, these are separate continents. And you might have been thinking, well, that's what the British did with like the Middle East and stuff, and now the Middle East is terrible. But are people really gonna care what continent they're on? Don't answer that. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, alternate history. Anyways, that's probably like, I'm probably done with that. I'm done talking about alternate history because most of you would have clicked off by now because I'm just rambling and ranting. I mean, did you guys read the title of the video? It's called a rambling stream. This is essentially a podcast of one person. That's how depressing you should probably feel if you're watching this. It's just a podcast with a single person, and I'm only doing this because I was like, you know what? I'm bored. I don't want to be... I mean, in reality, I should probably be writing right now, but my mind is like made consisting of garbage, and I don't want to have... Because whenever I write, I listen to depressing music. Like, and it's not like... I don't listen to crap like all around me are familiar faces. No, I don't listen to that. I'm not about that life. I listen to like piano music. Like not Beethoven crap. It's not I'm not that edgy. Beethoven edgy? Do you think Beethoven was edgy? If Beethoven was like alive now, would he be like emo with like, because his music was like, wait, was that Mozart? I didn't pay attention to music history, but I'm pretty sure that was Beethoven. It was Moonlight Sonata. That's the only thing that I remember is that it was Moonlight Sonata, and it was like super depressing, and I actually sort of like that song. There are actually some like historical songs that I actually think are still good, and people call me a nerd for that, and they're right. I didn't pull my gun from my butt too fast. Dang it. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, music. The music I listen to while writing is like very like depressing music, and I have it on like really loud because it's sort of like I listen to it because it like drowns out other thoughts. It drowns out like the thoughts that I don't want, because I just want to think about writing. I want to think about what I want to put onto the paper. I want to keep my mind straight and figure out what I want to write, because you can't have excess thoughts like going in your brain hole, because that means you're gonna get distracted. You know, you can't be distracted while writing books. So you gotta have that, because you gotta have that music on like blast. I listen to very depressing music. That's why I listen to very depressing music, because it is like, it's very soothing. You guys might be able to like, you can like look up, You can go look on my channel. It's a playlist called Listen and Chill, and I just listen to that on repeat like all the time. And I listen to that over and over, and I actually do like those songs because they are very like soothing to listen to, I guess. People like listen to people like that I'm friends with don't listen to that at all. Like my friends from River Trail, which was a school I went to because I had mental issues, liked songs like rap songs, and whenever I like introduced a song that I personally like, they were like, "Where are the lyrics?" And I don't usually listen to songs with lyrics. I find them distracting, especially when I'm writing, and I just like. And people will be like, "Oh, you're just being ignorant and stuff," but it's just not my taste. I listen to dubstep and just very quiet songs, I guess. Like if you were to go to my oh gosh. No, I almost had it. Okay. That was probably very uncomfortable for you to hear because my chair is very squeaky, like... Yep. That's my chair for you. And... what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, depressing music. Yeah. Have you ever heard of this game called Undertale? Because I do. Undertale has amazing music, and I listen to like piano remakes of that music, and it is gorgeous. It is sometimes very depressing to listen to. And it's not like I get depressed while listening to this music. Like, depressing music isn't depressing to me, but it's by definition depressing music. And if anyone like besides me listen to this song, they would immediately get like sad. They would be like become edgy. Their edgy senses would begin tingling, and all of a sudden they'll be like talking about how no one understands their emotions. So yeah. So it's not like I'm like edgy or anything. I'm not. I swear I'm not. I'm not edgy at all. I just like listening to like piano songs. Like piano songs are sort of like that. Like it's it's just a knack that I have. And I know, and this is essentially me just like talking without having any thought behind that talk. And people would probably still call me edgy, even with me trying to justify myself. But, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm probably gonna, after this round, I'm probably gonna just like cut the stream off, because I am done. But this stream is already done. It was done. I was done as soon as I started the stream. Somebody once told me the world I can run. And also memes. I can stand some memes. Some memes that I'm like, yeah, that's funny. I can see how that makes sense. I wasn't even shooting. Like, some memes I can stand. You might be asking, why are we talking about memes now? And I'm gonna be like, you know what? Shut up. If you don't have, like, if you can't talk about memes, then who are you? I don't know you. Please unsubscribe. Just kidding, I just said. If you don't know memes, then fine. Everything is fine if you don't know memes. Memes are great. They're great. They're great for the soul. They're great for the heart. They're very helpful. You know, they give you the information you want. They can teach you. They can teach you. No one understands the meme-tastic powers of memes. And we lost. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me on this stream that has nothing to do with anything. I am glad you guys were able to stand through my rambling times, but we got stuff done. I'm at level 26, and I realized that, and I have a death tally of 2,327 with a kill tally of 2,009. And yeah, that was very helpful information. So thank you guys for joining me on this wonderful journey. I'll see you guys whenever I want because I don't like you guys. Alright, bye.